say thank you to Rachel for inviting me here. She said I could come and just talk about Lomi Lomi today, and I really appreciate that because I love to talk about Lomi Lomi. And Lomi Lomi it's massage, but it's also a lot of other things as well. My name is Timothy Shane Duke, and I've been doing massage for about 17 years. I've also been practicing energy healing and studying herbalism and all kinds of other fun things throughout my career. Just everything just kind of goes in there that has to do with holistic healing. So Lomi Lomi is it's known by massage. It's Hawaiian for massage, and but it is actually the word for their holistic healing practice, and it encompasses many things. Bone setting is also part of it. Some forms actually do chiropractic. It wouldn't be called chiropractic; it's called bone setting. They do hydrotherapy. They use herbs and all sorts of things. When you go to a Lomi Lomi practitioner in Hawaii, you're essentially going to a folk healer, so to speak. And I don't really practice the style that goes that deep in depth into the folk healing. The style that I do is temple Lomi Lomi, and it's more of a spiritual, more of a grounding, centering kind of massage. It's really not about aches and pains and stuff like that. It really is more about addressing the body, the mind, and the spirit all at once. And just kind of rebalancing that and then letting whatever happen happen. So basically, how I came about Lomi Lomi was after about 16. I guess it was about 15 years of practice in massage, I really just hit a spot where I didn't want to do massage anymore. And I'd had burnouts before, and it was a lot deeper than a burnout. It was more like, just the heck with this. I really just don't want to do this at all. And it was just a number of personal things that had come up for me that I really just couldn't work through on my own. And then something awesome happened. My wife informed me that we were going to Hawaii to visit one of her friends and hang out. I always wanted to go to Hawaii. I thought that'd be really, really great. So she told me, go ahead and start thinking about some things that you want to do. Well, I still love getting a massage, so I decided I will go ahead and book us some awesome Lomi Lomi sessions, because I'd heard of Lomi Lomi massage for quite a while, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to try out some authentic Hawaiian healing. So after touring in Hawaii for a couple of weeks, it was time for us to get our sessions, and we drove to this place. It was basically a shack next to a mountain, and and that's, no spa, no nothing. It's not what you would expect for a massage at all. So we get there, and the guy's got a big round plastic patio furniture table outside, and that's the waiting room and all kinds of chairs and everything. And he's like in his 60s. He comes out and he talks to us and kind of asks us what's going on with us, what brought us here, and kind of finding out our story and everything. And we had our baby Molly with us, and we just kind of hung out and chatted. And it was weird because he was getting to know us, but he was also assessing us at the same time, sort of getting a feeling for us. And my wife was first, so she went back, and he had students there, and the way it worked is those students would do the massage, and he would do the bone setting. So his student walked her back, and then he stayed out there and he talked to me for a little while longer about philosophy, all kinds of just crazy things. We could be here for 2-3 hours, maybe days, talking about the stuff we talked about. But anyway, and he went in and he did the bone setting for my wife, and she got her massage. And while she was getting her massage, she came back and we talked about a bunch more things, and just kind of body workers talking shop at that point. And then my wife walks out, and she's just gone, blissed out like you wouldn't believe. And her face is amazing. I've seen a lot of spa faces, a lot of massage faces, and it was just the best one ever. So then I was really jealous, and it was my turn, so I went back. I went in and sat on the table, and he came in. He did the bone setting for me. It was really, from my perspective, it was different because I'd had a lot of chiropractic work before. It was very almost like a martial art, kind of someone just doing martial art moves on me or something. Very interesting. Never had any kind of adjustments like that ever. But anyway, and then the massage happened, and the massage was like I was above the table, and someone was just kind of just slinging me around, and I felt like I was being pushed by waves each time with each stroke, and it was just really soothing, just amazing. I knew that I didn't want to get too much into my mind during the treatment because I wanted to absorb it on a deeper level, but I couldn't help it as a body worker. I was really trying to absorb the moves as much as possible as well. And it was amazing. The body work was amazing. We said we were definitely going to try to do it as much as possible. And then the cool stuff really started happening. I started having all these epiphanies, all these little spiritual awakenings happening. And my wife, Sarah, was very much in a bad spot in her life as well. She had quit doing massage and started doing accounting. And so she found out through her epiphanies that she wanted to be a chiropractor. So now she's studying chiropractic. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her Lomi Lomi massage. So I'm very thankful for that. But me, as a healer, not wanting to heal anymore and not having the power or the desire to have that turned back on for me was amazing. And I was looking around and I saw so many people around me that had a lot of that same stuff going on, just no direction, I don't really know what I want to do. So I'm just going to pick the job that has the most money involved with it. And I just don't think that's a really good way to go about things, because then that's sort of not following your heart. That's following money instead. So I wanted to. I felt like Lomi Lomi needed to be introduced to as many people in the world as possible, and I wanted to be an advocate for that. So I started my training in Lomi Lomi, and that's pretty much what got me here today. After all my training, I know just a little bit about it, and things really started changing after I picked up this book right here. This is a book that is written by another Lomi Lomi practitioner, and it is it's amazing because they go to the Bishop Museum in Hawaii, and they take all of the writings that they can find. They just scour through anything that has to do with Lomi Lomi. It's very important because the Hawaiian traditions are oral traditions. They don't write things down, so it's really hard to really put a finger on all that stuff. Many of the things that I learned, many of the things that I learned were, like, for instance, my style is Temple Lomi Lomi, and there is really little documentation on that. It was handed down from priest to initiate, and it was kept very secret. Hawaii went through many occasions where it became illegal for them to practice their native healing. So it was even more secret than that. They could go to jail. They could get in a lot of trouble. And it happened about 3 times in their history where they had to just kind can't show anybody that we know how to do these things. And if you go into this book in particular, they were renowned on their abilities to heal broken bones very, very precisely. They used herbal preparations that were just like, amazing. There's stories in there that just blow my mind, and still to this day, I'm like, wow, there's some real useful stuff in there for even modern medicine to look into. And for me, the most important aspect is definitely the body, mind, and spirit. I feel like positive energy is one of the best things you can do to heal the body, and keeping somebody spiritually fit is one of the best ways, or keeping yourself spiritually fit. Everything else will just fall into place, because you're gonna want to eat bad things if you're feeling bad. It's just gonna be hard to follow a good diet. There's so many things involved.
Be careful when you, hey, wait.
It always goes back to your mentality, and you're not going to be able to keep up with yourself if you're not loving yourself properly. And so that's why, for me, I've always, for me as a therapist, I've always tried to tell people, you should do this, you should really, you should eat this, you should do these exercises, whatever. And they always tell me, yeah, cool, I'm going to do that. Yeah, that's great. I'm going to start practicing. I'm going to start stretching more, but they never do. And there's two sides to that. First of all, I wasn't doing that myself. I was preaching that to other people, and I wasn't exploring health as much. I was just kind of telling them what I heard about it. So I wasn't speaking from a level of experience. I was speaking from a level of, I've heard this is what you're supposed to do. So that doesn't inspire confidence, for one thing. And the second thing was, for me, I was asking people to do something, and they may not have been ready to do that, or they may never do that in their life. You have to respect the journey that somebody's on. It may not be time for them to seek out ultimate health in their life. They may be doing something else. They might have to write some really, really important book, and that's what they're supposed to do in this lifetime. So you just kind of have to let things go the way they are. Anyway, I think I've told you guys a pretty good bit. Do y'all have any questions about Lomi Lomi that I could answer?
Where did you go for your training?
Okay, so I'm really, really picky about training, especially when it comes to something like that, like a native art. I trained in Austin, Texas. It doesn't sound like it's going to be too authentic, but I chose my teacher very well. He studied in Hawaii for 8 years, and he traveled the islands the whole time and worked with various, they call them kahuna over there. That's just the word for expert in Hawaii. And they, you got to learn many practices and many styles. So I felt like he'd be a good place for me to start. Also, there was the convenience with the family and everything. After the session that we received in Hawaii, I was planning on just moving to Hawaii. Forgetting everything. There was like, we also, but then the tsunami happened, so that kind of put a damper on things. It's hard to talk your wife into going to Hawaii after we go through an almost tsunami. So that was like her worst fear ever. So yes, in Austin, Texas, he studied in Hawaii, and he trained in Hawaii for a long time. Now he's based in San Francisco, in the San Francisco area. The rest of the training that I received is just scouring the internet for any kind of information. Most of the teachers have videos online, and I've always done that with body work. I've always just looked for YouTube videos as much as I can to absorb as much resources as possible. You can learn so many things. And like I said, this book here, things started opening up for me even more. I started to see how to trace lineages and things like that. My temple style is it only surfaced in 1996, so the only written record of it starts, and the only records of it starts in 1996. The guy that taught it, sort of decided to start sharing it. So, you know, you could say, well, he may have just made it all up and just put it out there and he's trying to cash in on the whole Lomi Lomi thing. But at some point you can look at it and you can listen to the heart of it, and you can kind of know if it's, you know, speaking the truth. Especially if you've been doing something for a while, you can kind of tell if they're just kind of, you know, making it up. And when I read about other styles of Lomi Lomi, it really coincides with a whole lot and everything. So I'm not stuck in that style so much. I like to kind of branch out and use everything. And I also even like to use my massage training, my current massage, or my modern massage training as much as possible. Because I do think you need to add what you know to things. So, anyway, that answered your question. Yes, ma'am.
You're saying temple or temple?
Temple style.
T-E-M-P-L-E?
The teacher that I trained trained from, his name is Tom Cochran. Mm-hmm. He teaches specifically. It's called Hawaiian. It's called Sacred Lomi. Sacred Lomi.
So what are?
It's basically the same thing.
What are the other types?
The other types that they have, the other types that they have are going to be more of the medicinal, more folk medicine types of Lomi Lomi. There's going to be lots of herbal preparations. Auntie Margaret Mikado, she's the first woman, or the first person to start teaching to outsiders. At first it was just for Hawaiians, and she broke protocol and she started sharing. And she wrote a book and she started inviting people over to come and learn from her. And she taught on the island of Oahu. It's Hawaiian words, so it's hard enough to remember, Latin terms and things like that. But Hawaiian that's something I'm kind of working on now, is being able to speak the Hawaiian words, and because I would like to move into chanting into my work as well, and chant like I'm not sounding like I know what I'm doing. So yeah, learning the names of the styles. There's like I said, there's 100 different styles that you can learn. There's hundreds. There's so many. There's families. It's kind of like in China, they have different martial arts styles for each family. Everybody has their own little spin on it.
How long was your training?
My training, I did a week-long intensive course to learn all of the basic strokes and to learn the principles. And it was start going from in the morning until in the evening. And I haven't went for the second level of training yet, because I'm doing kind of a second level on my own right now. I'm doing a lot of exploration.
It's because it's in Hawaii.
A lot of the moves. What?
It's because it's in Hawaii.
Oh yeah, well that has a lot to do with it too. Yeah, and we are talking about going to Hawaii and learning some other forms, because I would like to.
How many hours was that training though?
It was a 32-hour training course.
Something like that, right?
And I mean, it was really intensive. We did a lot of spiritual stuff. We did we did stuff like standing around and staring into people's eyes. Being comfortable in your own skin. It really went into a lot of preparing you to work with people on a very deep, intimate level. A lot more than just, I extensions, that rotator cuff today, that kind of stuff, that's awesome, good stuff. But really being comfortable. If someone breaks down and starts crying on your table, how are you going to deal with that? So it was a very good training. I would love like 10 years more of Lomi Lomi right now. The important thing is,
What are you on, year 3?
yeah, have practice. I've been practicing for about 3 years. And so, yeah, the techniques are coming to me. I meditate when I work, and I meditate regularly. I also do yoga, and of course, ever since I started doing it, I've just gotten more and more inspiration. And I almost feel like there is some priest standing next to me sometime telling me, how to do something. Why don't you try this? Or if I do something right, it feels like someone's like, yeah, that's right, that's good. And then of course I do the cheap way out too. Every time my teacher comes to Austin, I go visit him, just hang out and talk. So yeah, just one level of training. The second level I actually want Sarah to go to the level 1 training and the level 2 training so that we can have a retreat in Hawaii as well. Really awesome for her. I think the Lomi Lomi and chiropractic are just like perfect together. They're amazing. Any other questions?
Do you have any demonstrations or
Yep.
techniques or movements?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what we're... You want to grab Trent?
Yeah.
Trent!
Just one question. You said with Lomi Lomi there's bone setting. I understand what that means. But are you only trained on massage, or did your teacher actually show you, okay, this is how you set a bone?
Nope.
My teacher, I consider the first person to do Lomi Lomi to me as a teacher as well. I feel like I had 2 teachers. He initiated me into it. My first teacher, Alva Andrews, he is a bone setter. He's a Hawaiian native. And in Hawaii, he can set bones. There's no law against it or anything. It's part of their native healing practice. I don't think he would ever teach me bone setting because he knows that I couldn't do it legally and get away with it. When I do Lomi Lomi, sometimes bones will sort of make noise.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Only-
There will always make noise, but
Yeah.
the bone setting is very specific, just like chiropractic. But I just didn't know, okay, so you're learning Lomi Lomi, and I'm sure I'm getting better at it, and not much better than you were when you were first in Hawaii, but does the bone setting come along with your Lomi Lomi training?
No.
I would be reluctant to do bone setting at this point. I think the training that they were able to do in the days when the kahunas were like working on people constantly, like that was the hospital when you went to get fixed. Those guys were starting at a very young age, at 4 or 5, whatever, when they could start learning, and they would just train them extensively on palpational diagnosis and all those things. I don't think that with my level of training, I think I would have to probably do it for 10 years and years before I would really start.
But the answer, no. They don't include, they
Yes.
just teach them the massage. Yeah. Yeah, the bone setting is only for the kahunas, Hawaiian natives.
Okay.
They don't share that with others.
Yeah, and the teacher was the one that did the bone setting, and his students,
Yeah.
They just did the
did
massage.
Sure.
And they actually used hot packs as well, hydroculators. He said he thought that the Hawaiians would use it if they had it available to them because they're smart. So, yeah, it's good. Yes, ma'am.
Is being pregnant and prenatal, is that okay to incorporate that into massage?
It is. It depends on your focus. I know that we were concerned because we had our child with us, and they were concerned for their traditional reasons to have the baby too close to the treatment area, because in their beliefs they believe in people, their dad walking around us all the practitioner while you're pregnant, or
Yeah,
working? with
No,
someone?
working on.
Oh, working
I'm
on
going
someone.
into prenatal, and if you could incorporate the techniques and stuff.
Yes,
Um,
totally. You could use the techniques, and you could use a lot of the philosophical approach as well. I have used it in my prenatal massages. Yeah, it's great. I think it's great for the baby too. Anyone else? Y'all ready for?
A little demonstration.
Go ahead.
Go, Trent. I don't know where they went.
They went to the back room over there to watch a movie.
All right.
I'll go now.
Go snag the boy.
He's smaller, so we can.
Less surface area. We figured it'd be quicker. We do this for our kids often, so try to keep them adjusted and massaged.
You guys want to take a look at the? It's like my favorite Lomi Lomi book right now. Come on, buddy. You said you were going to help me out.
No, I didn't. I said no.
You said no.
Whatever. Get
You
up
don't
there.
wanna help me? Come on.
Come on. Come on, bud.
This is my.
You're gonna be on the table.
Oh.
Oh, is he
okay.
crying?
All right. All right.
Aw.
Anyone else want to volunteer?
Don't cry, baby.
Want to go help them?
Here, I will.
I'm a student, so.
Well,
No?
What? No, no.
well, we can do you can do arms on her, and then if we could get a male to show him some backstrokes, because just the exposed skin issue, right?
And they're really sore.
Well, I mean, I can kind of go over the shirt too, so we can work with that. So what you'll do is you'll lay face down here.
We've got paper towels if you want your face with paper towels on the face cradle. Okay. Okay. Nora, do you want to help?
Did you bring wipes for the table chain?
When you're doing
I
Lomi
have.
Lomi, there's
Okay, good.
it's important to get the shoulders off of the table. So first thing you do is I want you to scoot forward for me, and I want the tips of your shoulders just kind of hanging off a little bit, just a tiny bit more.
I just want to help.
You want to help? Okay. I will.
Okay, well, next time, in just a minute, okay?
Sit down.
Okay, Nora?
And we don't use a bolster a lot of times unless the low back is in real bad shape. So you can pick up the leg, bring it out to the side there. You okay? Everything with Lomi Lomi kind of operates from the hula. It's kind of like shamanic body movement. I'm really terrible at it, but I practice it. But so the movement is called flying. So what you're doing is you're moving